Hello students, welcome back. In the previous class we have discussed the introduction part of the chapter biodiversity and conservation, and you got the definition for diversity, biodiversity and why need to conserve the biodiversity. Everything we have discussed in the previous class. So now we are starting with the levels of biodiversity or the types of biodiversity. So these are the levels of biodiversity, or we can say the types of biodiversity. There are mainly three levels of biodiversity, namely genetic diversity, the second one is species diversity, the third one is ecological or habitat diversity. So these are important. So there are mainly three levels of biodiversity, namely genetic diversity, species diversity and ecological or habitat diversity. So first we will discuss about the genetic diversity. So here genetic diversity refers to the variation. I told you diversity is nothing but variation or individual differences. So here the diversity or variation in gene level. So genetic diversity is nothing but the variations of genes. The variations of genes within the species. You can consider any species. So in that species we can find variations at gene level. So those variations of genes within the species is called as genetic diversity. Here genetic refers to gene level and diversity variation. So variations in the gene level. So you can define genetic diversity like this: variations of genes within the species is called as genetic diversity, and it is the diversity in the number and types of genes. You may have studied different types of genes, chromosomes, etc. So here this diversity, it is the number and types of genes. The number and types of genes as well as chromosomes. We can consider genes as well as chromosomes. So genetic diversity, it is the diversity of number and types of genes as well as chromosomes which are present in the species. Then this genetic diversity within the species, how we can able to find out the genetic diversity within the species? How is it possible? So within the species, the genetic diversity, that is nothing but variations of genes as well as chromosomes that mainly occurs because of recombination, genetic recombination or mutation. So the variations of genes can be observed in a species, within the species that mainly happen due to genetic recombination or mutation. And this genetic diversity within the species, the genetic diversity within the species, it will increases with increase in size and the environmental parameters of the habitat. See, this genetic diversity, how it will be varies, that is what I am saying. So this genetic diversity will be increases with increase in size. For example, if you consider a plant, a small plant will show a less number of genetic diversity. A bigger plant will show more number of genetic diversity. So that is what I am saying. It increases with the increase in size. And even it depends upon certain environmental parameters of the habitat. So within the habitat, whatever the environmental factors are there, even that also contributes to the genetic diversity. When we take the example, you will understand better how it increases with increase in size and environmental parameters. The best example, you should remember this example, the best example for this genetic diversity, it is a medicinal plant called as Rauwolfia vomitoria. So Rauwolfia vomitoria, it is one of the medicinal plant which is growing in the different ranges of Himalayan ranges. So in the Himalayan region, we can find the presence of this Rauwolfia vomitoria. It is the medicinal plant. We will come to know the medicinal uses. So this Rauwolfia vomitoria, as I said, it is growing in different regions of the Himalayan ranges. And this Rauwolfia vomitoria, it shows differences in the potency and concentration. So this plant shows differences in the potency and concentration of a active chemical called as reserpine. This is important. So reserpine, a active chemical is present in this Rauwolfia vomitoria. That active chemical is called as a reserpine. And these plants, for example, if this is the Himalayan range, the plants Rauwolfia vomitoria, it is present even at the bottom level of the Himalaya, even it is present at the top level. But all these plants are Rauwolfia vomitoria only, but they show differences in the potency and concentration. Potency is nothing but the power. So this reserpine, it is one of the important alkaloid which is obtained from the root bark of this plant. Then what are the uses of reserpine? As I said, it is a medicinal plant. This reserpine, the alkaloid obtained from this plant, it is used to cure high BP, cholera, snake bite, etc. So to cure all these, we can use a reserpine. But this reserpine, if for example, here also we can find some species of Rauwolfia vomitoria at the bottom level of the Himalaya, and some species are present at the top level of the Himalaya. So here, when we observe the reserpine, even these plant, both are Rauwolfia vomitoria only, both produces reserpine. But that reserpine will show differences in the potency. The plant which is growing at the bottom level having lower potency, lower power. It has lower power, and the plants which are at the top level have higher potency. So why this potency will be changing? Both are same species only, both have the same chemical, but the power is different. So why this difference can be seen? It is mainly because of the genetic diversity. Due to variation in genes, this has been happened. And I told you, it increases with the increase in size and environmental parameters. So here the environmental conditions may be different, here the environmental conditions may be different. So with the increase in size and environmental parameters, the genetic diversity, it is dependent. So try to understand. So this plant is very important. Rauwolfia vomitoria, it is one of the medicinal plants growing in the different regions of Himalayan ranges and shows differences. That is very important. It shows differences in the potency and concentration of a active chemical called as reserpine. And this reserpine, it is an alkaloid used to cure high BP, cholera, snake bite, etc. And this reserpine showing differences in their potency. So potency is nothing but power to cure those diseases. So here, as I said, it is mainly because of genetic diversity. You may get a question, why the reserpine, why do you find the differences in the potency and concentration of reserpine? It is mainly due to genetic diversity. So that is more important, and later humans have been exploited this genetic diversity for raising many varieties of domesticated plants and animals. So nowadays, with the help of genetic diversity, humans have been used this technique for raising different varieties of plants and animals. Then, so what is the use of this genetic diversity? So this genetic diversity, it mainly helps or useful for the adjustment, for the organism to adjust with the changing environmental condition. So due to these variations, Variations are very very helpful for adjustment with the changing environmental conditions. Even due to this genetic diversity, the organisms can better adjust with the changing environmental conditions. Then some other advantages like the genetic diversity, it helps in speciation. It helps in speciation. It is nothing but evolution of new species. Evolution of new species. Due to genetic diversity, due to variation in genes, it leads to speciation or evolution of new species. And one more advantage, due to this genetic diversity, the organisms or individuals, they have more resistant towards many diseases, and even they can able to adapt to different varieties of soils and climatic changes. So these are certain advantages of genetic diversity. And here we need to discuss few more things about genetic diversity in India. So India has more than 50,000 varieties of rice. The number is very very important in this chapter. The number of species we should remember. So in India we can find more than 50,000 varieties of rice and 1,000 varieties of mangoes. 1,000 varieties of mangoes. But here you should observe one thing, even though we find different varieties of mangoes, so we can find 1,000 varieties of mangoes, but the scientific name for mango remains the same, it is Mangifera indica only. So for all these 1,000 varieties of mango, the scientific name is Mangifera indica, but they have different varieties. So why we can find varieties? Because of genetic diversity. So within the plant, due to variation in genes, we get different varieties of mangoes, but the scientific name remains same. So this is about genetic diversity. So what is genetic diversity? Variation of genes within the species is called as genetic diversity, and it is the diversity in the number and types of genes as well as chromosomes present in the species. And within the species, this genetic diversity occurs because of genetic recombination or mutations, and as I said, it increases with the increase in size and environmental parameters of the habitat. This example is important. And how many number of rice varieties are there? More than 50,000 varieties of rice and 1,000 varieties of mangoes. So why we get 1,000 varieties of mangoes? Because of genetic diversity, even it is applicable to this also. So that completes genetic diversity. So now we will discuss about the species diversity. So till now we have discussed the variations at gene level. Now we will discuss the species diversity. So second one, species diversity. So what is this species diversity? It is the variety of different species of living organisms which are present in a given geographical area is called as species diversity. It is the variety of different species, which means here we are taking into account the number of living organisms or the number of species. So try to understand the definition. It is the variety of different species of living organisms in a given geographical area. So in one geographical area, how many number of different species are there? That is nothing but the species diversity. For example, in one area, there are many number of different varieties of organisms are there. Altogether, it is called as a species diversity. And species diversity, it is the diversity of number and richness of species. So this species diversity, it is nothing but this diversity or variety in a number and richness of the species. So what is this richness? We will say species richness. So what is the species richness? It is nothing but the number of species per unit area. The number of species per unit area is called as species richness. In one particular geographical area or in one unit area, so how many number of living species are there? It is called as species richness. There is one more term, species evenness. Species evenness. It is nothing but the number of different species. The number of different species in a particular geographical area is called as species evenness. Here we are considering all total number of organisms called as species richness. Species evenness is nothing but the number of variety of different species which are present in a particular geographical area is called as species evenness. And this species diversity, it is mainly dependent on species richness and species evenness. You will understand when I give the examples for these two. So the species diversity mainly depends upon species richness and species evenness. We'll take one example. See, in India, you know Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. In India, the Western Ghats, they have more amphibian species diversity as compared to Eastern Ghats. So this is the example we can give for species diversity. Try to remember, in India, Western Ghats, they have more amphibian species diversity when compared to Eastern Ghats. So what does it mean? Here you should understand, in that Western Ghats, in the Western Ghats, we can find more number of amphibian species. So you will study about amphibians in the animal kingdom. So you may have studied, already you have studied in the first PUC. So in the Western Ghats, you can find many number of amphibian species than that of the Eastern Ghats. Which means Eastern Ghats have less amphibian variety and Western Ghats have more amphibian variety. We are considering the number of amphibian species in Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. That is nothing but species diversity. So here we are considering species, different species are. So as I give an example, here amphibian species we are taking as an example. We can give few more examples also. So that is species diversity. And here we should know few more terms, that is evenness and unevenness. So evenness and unevenness, these terms are again important. So what is this evenness? So evenness is nothing but, it is the communities having species are communities where the species are represented by more or less equal number of organisms or equal number of individuals is called as evenness. Communities where species are represented by more or less equal number of individuals is called as evenness. I will give the examples, you will understand. Then what is unevenness? The communities where one or more species having more number of individuals than that of the others, it is called as unevenness or dominance. Unevenness or dominance. If the community having more or less equal number of species, equal number of individuals, we can say that it is evenness. If one species is more, other species are less in number, it is called as unevenness or dominance. So when we take the couple of examples, you can understand better. See, for example, we'll take a community in the sense you can take examples among the birds or examples among the animals. Likewise, for example, so this is one particular geographical area. Here I am taking few birds as example. We can take a parrot, pigeon, sparrow. I am taking three types of birds: parrot, pigeon and sparrow. So these are the different communities. In this particular geographical area, if you find, so here one parrot, one sparrow. Again, if you find, just count the number of individuals. Actually, the species diversity or species richness can be determined by counting the number of individuals. So here you just find out how many number of parrots are there or how many number of sparrows are there. Here you will find 4 parrots and only 2 sparrows. So here whether you will say it is a evenness or unevenness. I told you in unevenness, if one species having one species is more, other species are less, then that is called as dominance or unevenness. Yeah, here and here we can say related and unrelated organisms. So all these are birds. That's why these are related organisms. Whether they are even or uneven, they are uneven. Why they are uneven? Because a community having one or more species having more number than compared to the other organism. So here sparrows are less in number and parrots are more in number. That's why they are uneven. When they are uneven like this, they show less species diversity. They show less species diversity because one is dominant and others are less in number. We'll take one more example. In this particular geographical area, I will write 2 parrots, 2 sparrow and 2 pigeons. So here again they are related because all are birds only. They are related. Whether they are even or uneven, we can say here they are even because this community having more or less equal number of individuals. The parrots are 2 in number, sparrow 2 in number, pigeon 2 in number. As they are equal in number, these are even. And when they are even, they show more diversity. Because number of species are more and they are even in number, that's why they show more diversity. We'll take one more example. In another geographical area, here I will write a different species. For example, parrot, I will write 2 parrots, elephant, ant, again elephant. So here they are not related. So here we will say unrelated. They are unrelated but they are even because parrots are 2 in number, elephants 2 in number and 2 in number. That's why they are even when the community having different species and they are even, here they show very high diversity. Here it is less diversity, more diversity, here even higher diversity because of different species as well as their evenness. So finally I can say this is species diversity. It is the product of species richness and species evenness. So how many number of species are there? That is called as species richness, and if they are evenly present, they show more variations or more species diversity. And some extra information we can say here is till now it is estimated that about 2 lakh species. 2 lakh species of living organisms are present in India. So in India, it is estimated about 2 lakh species of living organisms are present, and the overall living species on the earth ranges from 2 to 100 millions. So overall on the earth, the number of different species are about 2 to 100 millions. Out of these, only 2.1 million species have been described and given scientific names so far. So initially we told that the total number of living organisms is about 1.5 millions. The number will be keeps on changing because new species will be identified, given scientific names and included. That's why. So till now there are about 2.5 million species have been identified and given scientific names. So this completes species diversity. So let us recall few points. Species diversity, it is the variety of different species of living organisms which are present in a given geographical area is called as species diversity, and it mainly depends upon the number and richness of the species. What is species richness? It is the number of species per unit area is called as species richness, and species evenness, it is the number of different individuals in a particular geographical area. It is called species evenness. So evenness and dominance both are very important to understand the species diversity. So this completes species diversity. Now we will discuss about the third level of diversity, that is ecological diversity. The third type is called as ecological or habitat diversity. Ecological or habitat diversity. So here we should remember ecosystems, because what is ecological or habitat diversity? It is the occurrence of different habitats within the ecosystem. The variety of habitats which are present in ecosystem. You may be knowing habitat, terrestrial habitat, aquatic habitat. Likewise, there are different habitats within the ecosystem is called as ecological diversity. And we can define the presence of different varieties of ecosystems in the biosphere. Either we will say presence of different habitats within the ecosystem or different varieties of ecosystems within the biosphere is called as ecological or habitat diversity. Here we are considering the different varieties of ecosystems. In genetic diversity, we have considered the gene level, the variations at gene level. And in the species diversity, we have considered the number of species and richness of the species. But here we are considering the different types of ecosystems which are present in the biosphere is called as ecological diversity. And when I give an example, see in India, this ecological diversity is quite high in India. So in India, this ecological diversity is high. Why it is high in India? Because of the occurrence of or because of the presence of a large number of ecosystems in India. In India, we will find different types or different varieties of ecosystems like a desert ecosystem, rainforest, mangroves, alpine, deciduous forest, coral reefs, estuaries. Likewise, there are many different varieties of ecosystems available in India. That's why India having a higher ecological diversity. Try to understand. If in one country or in one area, if we find different types of ecosystems, there that shows ecological diversity. And I will give one more example. In some small countries like Norway. So this Norway is a small country. In small countries, we cannot find such ecological diversity because they have one or few habitats or few ecosystems. We may find a grassland ecosystem or an aquatic ecosystem, any one of the aquatic ecosystem. If we find less number of ecosystems, their ecological diversity is low or less. In the area where we find the different varieties of ecosystems, there we will say the ecological diversity is high. That's why I told you in India they have higher ecological diversity due to the presence of a large number of different types of ecosystems, but in Norway the ecological diversity is less. Ecological diversity is less, and this ecological diversity he proposed a 5-kingdom classification. So white tiger, he classified ecological habitat into 3 main types. One is alpha diversity. So symbolically we can represent like this: alpha diversity, beta diversity, and third one is gamma diversity. So these are the 3 types of diversity under ecological or habitat diversity. We will discuss one by one. So firstly, it is alpha diversity. Alpha diversity. So in this alpha diversity, you can remember best. So this alpha diversity, it is nothing but the diversity within the community. Diversity within the community is called as alpha diversity. Let me give an example so that you can understand. We will consider a large geographical area. In this geographical area, I will take a small geographical area, and this is the one community having same species. So this is one community having same species. Let me take all examples as parrots. You can take any example. So here in this community, all parrots are there. So that is called as alpha diversity. The diversity within the community. So within the community, there will be a diversity, that is species diversity, that is called as alpha diversity. When there is a diversity within the species or within the community, what happens? There is a lot of competition, adjustment and interrelationships among the organisms of the same community. If all species sharing the same community are present in the same community, at that time all they have competition, adjustment and interrelationship. As they have same species, the variations are limited. If we have different varieties of organisms, variations are more. Here in this community, all are of the same species. That's why variations are limited. So this is alpha diversity. Alpha diversity is nothing but the diversity within the species, within the community. The diversity within the community is called as alpha diversity. And second one, beta diversity. So beta diversity, here it is the diversity between the communities. Here within the community, here diversity between the communities. Let us take one more example. In this particular geographical area, this is one community. I am taking one more community like some trees. So there are many number of trees. So this is another community. Now the diversity between these two communities is called as beta diversity. What is beta diversity? It is the diversity between the communities. So we can find a lot of diversity between the two communities is called as beta diversity. And the third one is called as gamma diversity. So gamma diversity is nothing but the diversity over a large geographical area. The diversity will take one more community. Here we have some animals. There are many number of animals. So this is a large geographical area having different communities. This is called as gamma diversity. Try to understand. Alpha diversity, diversity within the community. In this community only, the diversity can be seen, that is called as alpha. And beta diversity, the diversity between the communities. The variations between these two communities is called as beta diversity. And finally, gamma diversity, it is the diversity over a large geographical area. In this large geographical area, we will find different communities. Among the communities, the variations are seen. It is called as gamma diversity. So this completes the 3 levels of diversity, that is genetic diversity, species diversity and ecological diversity. Under ecological diversity, we have 3 types. the alpha diversity, beta diversity and gamma diversity. So this completes the levels of biodiversity, and the next class we will start with the new concept. Thank you.